Hello everybody, this is Aguilar, one of the hosts of Reel to Reel podcast, and today we are doing just a special bonus episode since me and Blake are going to likely be recording next week, so no new episode today. We wanted to drop something though because we're really excited that we have 20 published episodes out, and we just hit our 300 streams, so I thought it'd be kind of cool if we did a top 10 episodes so far. And basically, I'm just I cut together a compilation episode, I should say, some of our maybe favorite moments or best moments of the top 10 streaming episodes so far. And I think this might be pretty good for you guys if you are new to the show. This will give you a good insight of kind of how our show flows. We talk everything from, of course, movies, our real life, a lot of personal stuff that we are inspired by and what we strive for and things like that. Everything from books to music, video games, anything and everything you can imagine. A lot of laughs in between as well, and just celebrating friendship and, of course, the love for filmmaking and love for movies. So whether you're new to the show or you have followed, we appreciate it so much for checking it out. Hopefully this top 10 episodes will give you some insight, and maybe you want to go back and check out one of those full episodes. So let's count them down. Top 10 episodes of Reel to Reel, and we'll see you back next week. Number 10, complex originality.
All right, well, I'm going to pull up some of my recent watches here, and I'm also going to pull up that director's name because I want to dive into. This is going to be our first episode of reviewing a film that was submitted to us to ask if we could review or talk about. And that's all I'm going to leave that for the moment. I got to look up the director's name just to get that right and everything, make sure. But what's some things you started off with this week, man? I only watched 3 movies, really, since the last episode. But I'm very particularly excited for one of them.
Right.
So.
Man, I've watched about 30, so I've got a lot to cover. A lot of these are real things we've already covered. So yeah, I'm insane. Films have driven me insane for life. I'm all set, bro.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm all set, bro.
I love you, dude. Right, that's amazing.
Yep.
Okay. Let me kick off one. Let me kick off the first thing I watched, which I've been excited to talk about with anybody, especially you and Kaiser, because he talked really highly of this, was Begonia.
Okay, I've 100%. I've been eager all week to hear your take on this.
Dude.
So
I
I'm
can't
so
stop
excited.
thinking about it.
Me neither.
I can't stop
it's
thinking
so
about
addicting,
it.
the atmosphere.
It's
insane.
so good.
Insane.
And, yeah, man, every moment of it I was wanting more. And Jesse Plemons specifically really, really, really had me so hooked, dude. I mean, this is the best thing I've ever seen him in. Like
100%.
Yeah, and he really just was so I don't know, kind of surreal in a sense, dude. That's the best way I can explain it.
Everything about it is surreal, man. The whole his performance was very surreal, very subtle because it's like a slow burner. He seems like he's got a down to earth demeanor at first, but then it's like, well, he's the last thing. He's the most insane guy you can imagine almost.
So the whole movie, I'm not going to get into too much of spoilers here, if you're listening at this point, whatever. But at the whole thing is like, he's doing this for the alien. He thinks she's an alien and humanity, and she wants to discuss with their race to save everybody. And he is so hell bent on it that he brings his cousin. What's his name? Ron or Don or something like that. I think it's Don or something. But dude, I felt so bad for him throughout the whole thing. And he is just so hell bent on this idea that this whole thing that he's doing is just. I was like, you know what? I hope he's so crazy he's right. I was like, I just hope he's right. I really do, because if not, this is horrible. This is like, because Emma Stone plays it so cool. She's like, through all this shit, she is so cool about it. She's just like, listen. And that's just like, well, a woman, her power could be like that, And so I was really back and forth the whole movie. I really was. I was for him for the first half, and then by the last half, I was kind of like, I don't know,
The whole thing breaks
yeah.
bad.
But I'm really satisfied how the ending was, and also that just how it all ended, like how everything transpired. The whole movie is kind of contained too. It's just, God, I can't stop thinking about it, man. It's so good. It's so good. I can't wait to watch it again.
I'm the same way, dude. It's just uniquely an original kind of buzz. Yeah, it has an extreme aftertaste about it.
Yeah,
you take in all the character beats.
The dialogue specifically is fan-fucking-tastic, dude.
It is geniusly written from start to finish because the arcs are unforgettable. It's like, wow, everyone genuinely looks 100% different by the end of it.
100%, dude. The screenplay, the dialogue, that alone was just like something. I'm like, man, I need to read that, dude. Like they were really detail oriented, and just there's a lot of monologues and a lot of just, like I said, the scenes are very contained. It's very just like in the house for the most of the movie, in the basement, there, or like these extended periods of time with 2 characters at once or 3 characters, and it's just like, man, the dialogue was just so good, pushing it forward and making it still feel like unraveling and like kind of cringy all at the same time, and I didn't realize that comedian Stavros was that cop. I was very familiar with him through the Mark Norman and Shane Gillis and all those comedians I was following a few years ago, just like listening to on their podcasts and stuff. So he was a surprise for me, but his character was even what I loved, it's all surreal. It's just kind of like, this guy, he really is kind of a weirdo, but he's also, later you find out in the movie, he's also kind of has this guilty conscience of doing something really fucked up when he was younger to, Jesse Plemons' character, which is you kind of figure out what that is, just by hearing him. And but he's got this awkward kind of like trying to be a nice, genuine guy about it feel, and the whole thing is just kind of like so surreal. Again, it's just kind of like very slow burn, just very like natural. But I love all the characters' reactions to the whole thing, because Jesse Plemons is just like, what? He's so fixated on this alien thing. He's like, or he's just like, oh, don't worry about it. I've moved past that, and I genuinely believed him. I was like, I really think he does not give a shit about that at the moment. That's how complex I was looking into these characters, these moments and stuff. I'm like, these guys are like, this whole movie is so very, very, very like personal in a character matter, and that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, it was just, it had a personalization about it, a very like a countryside atmosphere where it felt very isolating all throughout. All the characters feel like they're on a particularly lonely arc. I mean, it
does feel very isolated, dude. Like you really don't get any outside interaction of any other characters or world. No, besides like a couple of coworkers at the workplace and like extras in the background for the office, but like no one else really gets into those characters' world, their perspective. And that's what's really, I love the perspective focus storytelling. It's just like, wow, it's just more memorable and more like hooking you in every second.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's essentially kind of just gets more entertaining and crazy as it goes. I'll say like, it's almost like by the final act, it's just escalated so far into a different kind of like aesthetic value that it's insane. It feels insane the way it all gets there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's genuinely just very mind bending.
Do you know what begonia means?
I actually don't.
I don't either. I was curious if you did, because
I really don't.
I
just interpret it as an alien force of some sort.
I guess
but
so, yeah.
I mean, I really don't 100%.
Yeah, because I was like, what's begonia still mean after the movie? But
I think it's something you don't understand.
Yeah. Great film though. Great film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Cannot wait to watch it again. Wendy, she fell asleep the first night after I was finishing it, and she started rewatching it the next morning when I left for work, and I was starting to watch the scene that she was back on, and I was like, I was sitting there just watching because I was like, God, it's so good. It's just so good. I just want to, like it just feels so like fresh. I don't know. It's so cool. Great movie. But I need to watch his other film, Pretty Little Things.
Oh, Poor Things. Dude, that's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great film, dude.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Do you like Begonia or Poor?
It's a close call. I've heard Begonia is my favorite by Yorgos Lanthimos now, but Poor Things is a very close one. At the time, that was my favorite because really, I think it's his most inviting film he's made. It was particularly inviting to his filmography. Basically, it's just Emma Stone just kind of goes on a journey on why it's necessary to be rebellious, basically, through this interesting guy. It's a lot of Wizard of Oz influence in the cinematography. A lot of black and white in the first 30 minutes, and then it gets colorized. It feels particularly whimsical.
Oh, wow.
I mean, meeting a lot of insane characters, particularly by way of like Mark Ruffalo, William Dafoe, amongst others. It's really a great cast of characters.
Wow, cool.
It's really surreal. It's like going on a surreal odyssey, basically.
Yeah, I
Going through
want to
different
see it,
moments.
man.
It's a great one.
Yeah, it's been on my list. I still love Kinds of Kindness.
I do too. That was mind-bending. Well, really, I remember seeing that in 2024. And I loved every frame of that because it's a slow burner, and Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone are also equally great.
And also, I went in totally blind, so when I did, like, it totally threw me off that there was credits after the first story.
Yeah,
I was like,
episodic.
What? And then there was 3 episodes. Yeah, 3 like stories with the same cast, different characters, and things. And I was like, oh wow! But it was so cool. It inspired me to write my own script based off like episodic structure. And I got like 2/3, 3/4 of the way of it, or something like that. I was like, I got like a good portion in, but I kind of finally dropped it. But it was just, yeah, that's a really cool movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that movie absolutely. Yeah, it's original, man. I love the slow burner. It's like the episodic kind of pacing, like three episodes, and they're all just very detail oriented. I mean, they're all about almost an hour worth of length of time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Any other films you've seen recently?
Yeah. I mean, I can go through them. 'Cause I only watched 3, so. The second one I watched was after we got done with Nolan, I told you I was like, dude, I want to watch a Nolan film.
It just hit.
So I just watched Inception because I haven't seen it in so long, and my God, dude, what a masterpiece! It is just like
extent.
The incredible amount of effort into that movie is like astonishing. I mean, the whole movie really is just a mind-bending, detail-oriented, focused, hard to follow but easy to understand at the same time.
It literally
movie.
is. It's so inviting. It's the most inviting feeling to be that complex.
It's very complex, and it's also the head scratcher at the end of it. It really you could go with so many different theories of how the ending actually is.
It's so transcendental because I think a lot of it really involves heavy emotions. I think I relate that movie heavily to emotions in a lot of ways.
It really is because you're weighing on Leonardo DiCaprio's tie to his fucking wife there, Mal or whatever. Like, he is so lost in that it affects the whole movie.
Number 9, Dreamer's Disease.
Yeah, man. As a point I wanted to really get into is, if you're open to it, just if you want to go year by year through your filmography ever since 2016, and maybe in a nutshell chart what you maybe got out of that year art creatively moving forward. 'Cause it seems like every year, like when I break down your journey, it's like every year you've kind of transformed as an artist. I'd be kind of curious to hear you break down maybe a little bit of what made every year stand out as different to you.
Well, I don't know, man. It's been such a weird journey. I mean, it's 10 years this year to think, like, looking back and being like, wow, it's like ever since the first movie and now look at what we're trying to do now or what we've done. I don't know. It's just, but I think the first, I guess, I don't know. The first few years were all about kind of, like 2016 was really about discovering myself. It really was. I just was going to a dark place. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. And didn't like what I was doing, and then I just kind of got really inspired through watching like Jim Carrey. I watched Jim Carrey that quote that he there's a cool video about it, and
it's an ultimate quote right there.
Yeah, and he just dream up a good life is the video I'm referring to, and then that and just kind of reflecting on life, and I was just like alone, so I really just like learned to love myself and really think about like the past, the present, the future, and just who I wanted to be. And then I just got inspired okay, well, I might as well make this the best life I can possibly do. And it's like, I hate the news. I'm getting out of this. And I was like, and then, that story I've always said, which is like I saw the Knoxville Horror Film Festival, and that's kind of where it got me to get inspired to make a movie, because I was just new to Knoxville. I have a film background, with at ETSU and the love of movies growing up and making them and stuff like that. And I just really was like, I wanted to always make movies after college, but I just never did. I just threw myself in the real world, and didn't know what I thought. You needed all this money and equipment and all this stuff, and it's just like I just didn't do anything for 2.5 years. And then I finally was just like, I'm gonna make a movie. Fuck it. I want to do this. Maybe I should make a horror film to get into this. And I just kind of restarted learning, and I got all this. I used my tax refund to get like a small kit, and just kind of went from there. And that's how the first movie came about. So that first year was really like exciting to discover all that and inspirational, and it was challenging and scary, but at the same time it was really fulfilling. I just had like the most fulfilling time. And then we got in the festival, and that just kind of really opened up my world a little bit. And Frank, of course, is my little bug in my ear too, you know, just like my you know, me and him, we always chat each other up about ideas and things like that. So he was we were talking about potential, because the Stranger kind of opened up this whole narrative world too, you know. Strange films, we were like, what should we call it? You know, I remember just like, we should just call it Strange Films, because we had the Stranger as the character, and I was like, I think that's fun. And then so just kind of we already set ourselves up for like this brand, but didn't didn't have any plan of action. We just kind of was like, but all that to say, Frank was already getting his own ideas. I was getting my own ideas. We got in, and then it just started kind of feeling like, well, now what? And he was already working on Center City, and that's what got me to Philly in the first part of 2017 and made Center City. And then it just started going from there, man. You start thinking, you know, wow, you can do anything, and like you can just make these movies. And Strange Films became this like brand right away, just to be like, oh, and then this connects here, this connects here. Well, that's what we were just trying to have fun with and connect. And social media started really being a thing. And so my excitement in 2017 started really pushing me in the direction of, I just want to make movies, you know, like Center City, Passenger, and I think I made The Sound of You and Me. I don't know if you remember that one.
I do. Yeah, the drama.
Yeah, and I think I did like 2 music videos. And then 2018 was like my big boom. Like I got so confident and so excited. I think the connections we were making already so fast, along with me and Frank's like drive, we just took it to the next level. We pushed out Cindy's Birthday Party, Butch. We did no, Butch was 2017. Sorry, we did Cindy's Birthday Party. The Woman, The Driver, kind of came out in 2019, I think. But either way, we started shooting all this stuff, and like I think we did like some of our first events.
That's a busy one.
I did 10 music videos. I mean, I did like all kinds of stuff, but I burnt myself out bad. I went to LA and I went to Philly multiple times. I just did all this stuff. I was all over the place, and things got really exciting. And then I think I got burnt out. Kind of started reeling back a little bit. And 2019 was kind of I think another growing pain year for me. Scaled back on a lot of stuff, but we were still working on, like, I think we did Happy Mother's Day. We finished The Driver. We started Center City 2. Subject came out that year.
Right.
And kind of, I think I just started slowing down, and then that's where in 2020 came in. I think we started feeling confident again, and we pushed out Pandora, and we were shooting Center City 2. Me and you went to Philly, and then COVID hit. And then that's when everything just changed, you know? I don't know about you, but that just kind of, I don't know, it feels like that first 2016 to 2020 time frame, and you were a part of like at least half of that.
Yeah.
It feels almost like a dream or a reality that doesn't exist anymore.
It really does.
You know?
I'm sincerely feeling the same way in a sense. It feels like there was something there that, it's like, wow, it feels so different than that era somehow.
Like the air feels different, the world feels different, and there was a lot different. There wasn't as scary shit that's going on today, you know, the back then, but it was just
there was
just
more of a
feels
purity
like,
about it. It does seem like very it seems like a special time now.
There was a purity about it. There was a very nostalgic place in there, and
fully agreed.
You know, I feel like all those films that came out that exploded out of all that was very kind of almost naive and youthful in their own ways.
I get nostalgic when I look at those movies, man. I really do. I think I get like a heavy sense of underground aesthetic out of those films, and I think when I see that, it's like, man, like I think that's almost like the grab you have about yourself. You're just adventurous about an underground sort of way of looking at the world with those movies. You know, and I've been feeling like that with like Happy Mother's Day, Sydney's birthday party. Rewatching those makes me feel very nostalgic now, and I almost can't explain it exactly. I think it's a feeling you captured that almost seems like it's distinctive to that time, and it doesn't feel that way now. Almost,
there's something about those movies now that they feel like such a different chapter of the world and my life, and there's so much content in those 4 years. It's kind of like you said, like this weird underground explosion of content and what Strange Films started out as and where I was as a filmmaker and things. So but it feels like I can't ever get that again. I feel like that's such a different like history part where now looking at things too artistically and creatively, I wouldn't, if I could redo all those movies, I would do them differently, way different. And I would really put some focus into a lot of details. I like to slow things down now so I can take my time and make sure I'm getting exactly what I want and I think the story deserves, out of it. A lot of those things were very quick, very fast-paced, one-man band. That's how I like to roll. I always shot everything, directed and edited and sound and whatever I needed to do, to get these things done. So there's something about that feeling that I always want to get, and TV Land is really fulfilling that. So that's cool. But I just feel like I can't. I think that's also another part of TV Land where it's like I'm just trying to recapture what I know I was like set out to do and that I can do. Like that adventurer in me that just says, no, man, I'm not going to let all this stuff define me or whatever. It's like when it comes to the end of the day, my love for filmmaking is this, and I'll carry all that with me just to plant the flag and just say, okay, there you go. So so yeah, I think those first 4 years were very I think transformative in a way. Then you get 2020 where we did The Lion's Den.
Yeah, that's right. That's a big one.
And I think The Lion's Den is the first chapter of what comes next.
Agreed. I fully agree with that. Yeah, you did kind of start a new chapter with that one.
Well, and then if you look at The Lion's Den compared to the films before that, there's a different kind of writing to it and a pacing to it.
Yeah.
I think there's a really, I think there's some of my longer shots in that.
Yeah.
And the more like I really focus on the script, like there's that aha moment that I remember having when I was writing the script where it was like, she needs to be the sister of the monster to make it personal, to make that like, oh, kind of feeling. And I just feel like that movie started, I think, because the next thing that came out after that was Raven, and then it just starts kind of getting really, the stakes are kind of getting a little bit more personal and higher, and I think quality was getting better.
Yeah, like more ambitious. Like you're more consistently ambitious about them.
Number 8, Drama Days.
It's been a pretty good week, I guess. I feel like we're kind of back in our routine. I like how we're both kind of setting our goals on some things, and stuff like that, and
absolutely.
just really moving slow pace with it all, and
move slow pace.
Yeah, we're almost at 200 streams, man.
That's great, man.
I was looking at
that's
that.
amazing.
Our last episode got a lot of hits, so I was like, oh, cool.
Sweet, man.
And so I haven't, because I still haven't really been keeping up with Instagram, but I'm glad that people are listening to the show. I still love showing up for it. So
yeah, me too, man. I love doing this every week. I think it's a perfect outlet because I like just observing how much the creative perspectives shift around every week. And I think here's like our weekly checkup on like what we're seeing every week. And I'm like, wow, we do change enough to where we can talk for over an hour for these sessions. I think that's amazing.
I agree, man. And like we just intake so much stuff too. It kind of really, we want to talk about it in general.
I get eager to talk. It's stuff I'm eager to talk about. I'm like, well, I'd be suppressing it if I wasn't. It's like, this is the place to talk about. They say you don't have to feel suppressing your day-to-day life because it's like, sometimes I need to focus all day to get those long-term goals.
That's what I'm saying. It's like today I'm like it's just like there's stuff I really need to do, got to do, and it's just like, well, these are the if I want to accomplish any of the fun things I want to do or the creative goals I want to achieve or life goals, I have to double down on all this stuff.
Exactly.
It's just like, and also maintain a healthy balance of this and that, So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, there's a lot. The work life, personal life deal. Yeah, exactly. Save up a lot. Also trying to stay healthy in a lot of ways. Also,
right,
it's like. And just pacing out for just literally to make dreams come true is literally the way I see it. Yeah, so. That's all I want.
But yeah, I returned from Alabama and saw you at the diner. I told you I saw The Drama.
That's
right,
man. I saw
I know that's the big one we want to talk about today.
That's a huge one.
Yeah,
that is a massive.
Who's the director? He made the he made Dream Scenario.
He did make
right?
Dream Scenario. Yeah, let me.
How'd you feel about that movie? I
love
loved
Dream Scenario, dude. Dream Scenario was amazing, dude.
Very
I just thought that was a really great dark comedy kind of tone, kind of dry sense of humor, but I thought his tone really resonated. His name is Christopher Borgli. Yeah. I was amazed by Dream Scenario. That's like some movies are really subtle, so it's like you'll love it and then you won't think about it for a little while, but then it'll just hit you all at once. It's like, wow, I love that movie more with age, and I think seeing the drama really reinstated that, because I'm right with you, dude. I think the drama was a grand masterpiece from start to finish. I mean, that's what I would call the epitome of perfect writing and perfect pacing and just perfect character development in every sense of the word.
Yeah, great acting too.
Man.
Just all around, it's a very, very well done, subtle but
extremely
powerful
subtle
movie. And it gets the conversation going, man. There's like a big discussion about that movie and the premise of it essentially on the internet right now. And that was something, because I saw it with Wendy and her sister and her friend and her sister's fiance. So it was like a group of us, right? And we all went in there, watched it, and when we got out, it was all we talked about for like 45 minutes about the dilemma of like what centers that movie. And it's a pretty heavy subject, so
yeah,
if you don't know what the drama is, just look up the premise at least, because it's just it's such a discussion. It ruins Robert Pattinson's life essentially. You're just kind of like, and that was discussion afterwards. Like, well, what would you do? I'm like, I'm with him. I feel like that's a lot to take in, and if the wedding's right there, it just really makes you kind of question everything.
It's a lot of stress.
A lot of stress, absolutely.
And it's basically how a small thing boils into something massive.
Yeah.
It's like it's all over just a party, basically a party game. Like, and it's very surreal, just how
because you're just like, what's gonna burst here, it's gonna, and it starts leaking out real bad in that third act. Dude. Oh gosh,
man, so many cringy moments.
Dude,
it's so uncomfortable,
moments.
dude. It's so uncomfortable.
It's just like
just wild places you don't want to be, scenarios you don't want to ever get into.
No,
it's like,
even just seeing
that's traumatizing.
Third party hand witnessing it, that'd still be a lot to be like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, no,
cringe,
yeah,
for sure.
cringy as it gets.
Yeah, great pacing too, though, man. I mean, it really just kind of unravels that, like, it's like a crack of an egg, man. It just slowly starts throughout the whole movie, just until it gets real bad. And yeah, man, I don't know. I really, really loved it.
I'm with you, dude.
I'm still thinking about it for sure.
I know. Yeah, no. It's just living on me everywhere right now. Ever since that viewing, just thinking about all those elements and just the way that all paced out. I love the whole ending of it too. Is phenomenal. Can't say, but
yeah. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched it since it's so new. But
so I generally advise it just to treat that movie itself like a mystery box. I say just no trailers.
I went in blind.
Just go blind. Yeah, I did too. That made it extremely suspenseful from start to finish.
Yeah, I was like, what is about to happen here?
Yeah.
But I love Robert Pattinson. Zendaya did great too. I really liked her. But I just feel like that was one of those movies where I'm like, this is Robert Pattinson acting. Like, I really appreciate his acting. Like, I was like, man, I cannot wait for him to come back in Batman, because that's like the next movie he's filming.
I was thinking about Batman too while watching that, man. There was
a couple of moments where I was like, dude, he's Batman.
He was just something else in that. No, I love his acting. I thought that was one of his best roles, because it's like, it strangely gave me like almost a bit of a comic Loglan kind of feel, but like in its own kind of way entirely, where there's like the charismatic person in uncomfortable scenarios. It's like, I think that was like the epitome of just Pattinson just really getting all the way in with that. Yeah, I thought that was an unforgettably great character.
Yeah.
And then Zenyatta too was just amazing, stunning in that from start to finish. I think, she's going down as a favorite actress.
Absolutely.
Really extremely subtle actress. And then like, a lot of time felt like very disturbing in a lot of ways, in its own original kind of way. Like, kind of very haunting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a good movie. And I was really hesitant about watching it at first, just because, like, I'm already tired always, but like, we had to drive in like 3.5 hours, and we get there, and kind of as soon as we got there, we basically went out to eat, and then we were going to watch a movie, and we're going to go see that. And the showing was at like 8:15 or something like that. And it's like an hour behind, so it's really like 9 my time, our time here.
Right.
So I went in, I was just like, oh man, it's just kind of like, I was just tired. I was like, I don't know if I even have it in me. I feel like I'll fall asleep, and I don't even know what this movie's about. And I was just like,
I was strangely tired too when I saw it.
Yeah, and then I saw it, and I was like, instantly I was like hooked. I was like, okay, what's going on
Opening
here?
scene is interesting.
Yeah, and I was hooked for the whole movie, and I'm so happy I actually did go see that movie.
Seriously,
it was just like one of those like off the wall kind of random things that happened, and it was just ended up being like a really, really great watch.
It's
So.
unforgettable. Absolutely.
Unforgettable. So definitely highly recommend the drama. That was very good. Yeah.
Oh, no,
Lots of discussions are being had about that.
There's a lot to say about it. Absolutely. You know, and I would flesh it out more if there was a spoiler free. I don't want to spoil it. I just seriously don't want to put it in the air right now.
Yeah. Maybe we'll revisit it again. We'll watch it sometime and we can really dive into it.
That sounds great to me. Yeah, there's a lot to say in there, and I love that title. I think that's a great title. That strangely like hits us a perfect one for what it's doing. It just feels like here's how a drama could just break something bad, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I got me thinking a lot in general. It's like, I guess I have spent a lot of my life obsessed with the feeling of dramas. I guess I always have been obsessed with that part of movies in a lot of ways. That's just kind of a great. I feel like a great almost some. I don't know. That just strangely just mysteriously got me to that just because of that title. You could say.
Yeah. No, I kind of grew up watching mostly comedies and dramas.
Same here. I think comedy dramas. That's the balance exactly right.
I watched a lot of action movies because I was interested in that, and it was fun, and there's all the blockbuster hits and stuff like that too.
Absolutely, same.
I remember mostly watching comedies and watching a lot of drama films with my mom and the family, and just like as I got older, I always just gravitated towards dramas, and I didn't really get into horror and a lot of other genres like until later in life, when I was high school and college and stuff like that. So and exploring like deep cut like kind of directors or anything like that, so but yeah, man, so that kind of really hit the spot. It had a great kind of dry sense of dark humor too underneath all of it too,
it really did,
but
yeah, it did have a really subtle sense of comedy.
And The Mask does a great job here too. Is comedy. I think it's like funny, but at the same time, it's very much more of like a drama. I think,
it is comedy drama. Absolutely. Yeah, you can take the story very seriously, but it's like a lot of it's downright goofy. But yet it's also like there's a pretty intense story going on.
Yeah,
it
is.
You just filter out like just the humor and get into the story. It's like wow, that's like a superhero dilemma.
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. I absolutely love that. I'm with you. I think the spark of comedy drama is very timeless, and those are the genres I think I might have spent the most time with overall. And I think I strangely get the most motivation out of those two genres. Strangely, I guess that's mostly what I want to be more like every day. I feel like those two tones in a lot of ways. I think it's a great balance to have.
What about creatively? You think like that's kind of more the avenue you want to stay into?
100%. I think that's always been what I've been the most kind of drawn to in a sense. I think I'm a little obsessed with like maybe the drama, going to dramas. Maybe that's just a subtle way of just like understanding just the essence of human drama. So I don't, maybe just the goal is to filter it out in my reality almost. And the films is like, I can just get it all out of my system right here. And then comedy's like, well, that's how I want the reality to be. Like, it should feel funny and not actually too serious in a lot of ways. And I think this dramas can also often really show like raw consequences in a lot of ways. And I've always been drawn to consequences, like the anxiety of consequences in film. I'm like, film is a great way to explore just like raw anxiety in a lot of ways. And I think that's what dramas often get across. That's so phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, for sure. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I would love to. Well, I want to explore more of that genres in my filmography and stuff like that. Like I'm really happy to see that the Gifted series and Cho and even TV Land has kind of leaned more into the drama side versus like the horror side.
They do, yeah.
Because like I would consider all those movies except for TV Land like horror, but at the same time, the drama is actually the most forefront.
I see what you're saying.
Like, the Gift. I mean, it's a really emotional, kind of intense, dramatic story with Gigilin and in the Gifted and Original Sin, and then Cho. Like same thing with Kenny and as Cho. It's just like there's an actual story with things going on, consequences and things like that happening. But when the shit happens, it's like horror. You know? So,
dude, you really incorporate a lot of more dramatic elements as that goes. That's a real observation right there.
But I want to like more transition eventually to like films like I'm doing like TV Land, where there's more of like kind of a kind of quirky edge to it, like a fun. I don't know, like I have a lot of these ideas, man. I just want to keep exploring.
I see what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, dude. It sounds like you're almost getting into the comedy drama realm with the TV Land, in a sense. I think you're actually combining the two.
There's definitely elements. I think I've blended a lot of elements. I call it kind of experimental, to be honest, like a drama and experimental, because I throw in a lot of different genres in it.
That's great, man. That's the best way right there. I think I like ultimately lends itself best to surrealism. I think the idea of surrealism is you can explore all genres. It's like it kind of turns into its own entity. Like I love it when you watch movies and it's like I can't classify this. I don't know if it's it's funny and serious. It's terrifying. It's disturbing. Like it's all these different things at once. It's like what do you call that? A lot of times that's what the drama label gets, but I always feel like that's just open to just be a little everything, really.
Number 7, a punk rock feeling.
I'm trying to think about a few guitar bands. Rolling Stones and White Stripes. What are those bands? Do those bands have a lot of significance to you?
Rolling Stones and White Stripes. Not too much. I saw. I noticed you pointed those.
I'm literally just doing that.
You're just pointing stuff off the wall.
I just want to see how it flows. Test the water.
I actually got those as a gift from Jeff Snell
That's
when
cool.
I invited him over for the podcast.
Right.
No, White Stripes. I like a handful of their songs.
I'm the same way. They actually hit me in a similar kind of way where I really like them, but they're like not somehow all the time.
Yeah.
They somehow it's very kind of samey.
I think Jack White is cool. I
Yeah.
think he's a really amazing musician, and I kind of like he's a interesting guy, I guess. But
he's
I like his solo stuff. You know,
I do
like
too.
I've got one of his albums on record, but I like his,
it
I think it's like
Dead
Blunderbuss.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what it's called. But
Horror
that's
Hound or something like
yeah,
that.
I like that record a lot.
Me too. I like his solo stuff a lot.
Yeah,
Dead Weather. Yeah, a lot.
yeah,
of
he's done some fun stuff. But I'm not like a huge White Stripes or Jack White
I'm the
fan.
exact same.
I'm just kind of like, yeah.
He's one of the first guitarists I really got into. I was quite huge into that first album when I was like in 8th grade, but I kind of got to a point where, and I think a lot of bands I kind of associate. It's like, okay, I like it for like 30 minutes, but then somehow the mood gets a little stale. Like it's a little samey almost. Nothing wrong with it, but,
right?
Yeah,
And Rolling Stones, I think I like a couple of their songs. Like what's that big one?
You got Sympathy for the Devil. There's a lot of them. Painted Black.
Yeah.
You Can't Always Get What You Want. Give Me Shelter.
Oh, I like Gimme Shelter.
They have a lot of great. I've had phases where I'm like, dude, they have a lot of great songs. I feel like they're a lot more of a singles band to me.
Yeah,
overall, more than album. Yeah, they hit it awesome. I think they kind of have just a rock. There may be some phases where I'm like, am I a huge fan? I don't know if I listen to them a lot, but they definitely kind of have just the carefree rocking out spirit about them. I really like.
I like the Ramones.
I do love the Ramones.
Yeah, they're fun.
Cool,
they're
man.
definitely like punk.
Ramones are cool, man. That's where the punk scene was really going. Yeah,
they're really fun.
Ramones are awesome, dude.
But I often forget about them, so I don't like.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
No, they're like it's almost like their impact is so straightforward. It's like there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
they're just to the point of what the mood is.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I'll like randomly have a day where I just like jam out to the Ramones, and then I won't listen to them for a year or something.
I'm the same. That's just how they are, though. I mean,
Yeah.
they just get that energy across wonderfully. Same with the Clash. You listen to the Clash?
Just the singles, a couple others. London Calling? Yeah, and then there's another one I really like.
Self-titled Clash album.
Yeah.
There's one that has Rock the Kabash. I forget the album name, but
Okay,
there's one that's
yeah.
a triple album. I forget the name of that too, but I mostly am in it for London Calling and self-titled.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
those albums rule.
I need to listen to those front to back.
They're
I haven't
great.
listened to them.
Yeah, they're awesome. Same with like Sex Pistols. They're pretty cool too.
Never really listened to Sex
They
Pistols.
just had they're a one album wonder basically. I think
Okay.
they're big time. Like I like Ramones better, but I think they were kind of like a big time the style of punk. You could say
Okay.
they kind of were symbolic of a lot of that, and that was the band like Neil Young would write because Neil Young wasn't really a punk, but he was very much a philosopher of the punk scene.
Okay.
In the late '70s, and the Sex Pistols I suppose just kind of because I mean like one of the members just died from just going so strong into the punk scene just in general. It was just a really intense kind of scene all around in that band. Yeah, interesting stuff though.
Yeah, dude. There's a band that I really like now. Stemmed from the band The Story So Far. It's called No Pressure, and it's like they're leaning into hardcore like West Coast punk vibes, and that's a fun band to jam out to. I like watching their live shows on YouTube because he's just like fucking mosh pitting. Everyone's jumping on the stage, jumping off the stage, and he's just singing. It's crazy. I love that energy.
Me too, dude.
I went to a lot of shows growing up. 16 up, I started going to shows by myself with my friends, and I remember always the goal was to get there first, wait in line for about 6 to 8 hours, and get up front to watch the band play. And you get in that pit so many fucking times, that energy is just so fucking crazy all around you, and you're getting kicked in the head from people crowd surfing.
Bro. I'm with you. I've spent a lot of time.
Yeah, it's just like that shit is.
Best.
That's a fun culture.
That's actually what I get nostalgic for the most. And it's like at the time, it's like, wow, I didn't even process how like nostalgic that would make me in my older ages. I'm like,
but it's funny now.
The feeling. It's like a feeling that you can recreate that. That's the blessing of it.
You can, but it's funny because one of the last shows I went to, it was like 2018, I think. I went to Modern Baseball, which is I discovered them later in my life, but they're great band, and. They had like a hiatus, but they came back for like a 3-night like show in Philly. So I went to Philly, and I think we were filming, but I also went to go check out the show. And I went and checked out the show, and I did the same thing. I got there early, waited all day. I was so excited, and then I went to the front.
Got in the very front row, and I was like, all right, I was so excited. You know, like I watched the opening. As soon as Modern Baseball came on, I felt a goddamn tidal wave hit me from the back. The crowd went crazy. And at this point, I'm like 26 or 27. I think 26, maybe 27. I don't know. But I was old enough to be like, oh, it knocked the breath out of me. And I was like getting crushed. I was just getting crushed. And immediately, I mean, these kids' energies were like going like insane all over the place, like jumping up and down, like everywhere. And I literally, within the first song, probably within the first minute and a half, I slowly started fading all the way to the back, and I ended up getting out of the fucking pit and watching the rest of the show from the side.
That makes me so damn nostalgic.
It was like, wow, that kicked my ass, and I felt it. I felt it.
Like,
I
you
was
probably got bruises and shit from it.
I was like, that shit kicked my ass.
Yeah, sure. Rocks,
I used to be able to hold my own on that, but I'm like, oh man, I'm too old to be doing that.
Dude, I went to a lot of like metal shows growing up. I definitely had a metalhead phase like at some point, and I would those shows. I would just get thrown right into a crowd surfing.
Do you do mosh pits?
Yeah, I did mosh pits. People would like throw me on my ass and my toes, and I'm like, all right, just get up and keep going to the end. Yeah, it was a blast, man. Yeah, I loved it.
I was at a festival, and we were like kind of in a good position in the crowd. I mean, it was a huge crowd, and then like, I think we were waiting on a band that we really wanted to see, but the middle band was like a heavy metal band. I'm not really a huge metalhead, so
I'm not anymore. It's influenced me, but it's not really part of me now.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's very weird.
So, anyways, he gets on the stage and they're playing, and it's like the crowd's already getting rough and stuff like that. And he gets on, and he's like, "All right, I want you to split the fucking middle, wall of death." And I was with my buddy Ryan Brown at the time. I was like, "Oh, we gotta go, dude." I was like, wall of death does not sound good. And then what happened? Yeah, they split the fucking middle of the crowd, and
doing it.
Two people. It was like two armies lining up on each side, and they just charge at each other with their fists. And I was
crazy?
like, "That's insane!"
That's insane.
I was like,
Next level. Yeah, dude, I've seen those compilations on YouTube. They're like, holy moly, that's crazy.
Too much.
Yeah, that is too much. Yeah, that really is where a lot of that fizzled, man. Seriously, that's insane. People were dying over it, getting badly injured over that stuff, man.
Yeah. So, but
chaos is fun. Chaos is perfect, man. Yeah. There's a line where it's just plain old perfect, and a lot of those shows just had it down like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, I'm also curious about what the Joker means to your in your life, and I'm thinking about all between just mostly about Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal. How have those two influenced you?
I mean, two iconic characters. Obviously, Heath Ledger is the more iconic one in the batch, but in R.I.P. He's an amazing actor. Everything I've ever seen him in. But the infamous story of how he just lost himself into that role, and you can see it on screen. It's absolutely. I don't think anybody will ever do what he did as Joker.
That was so original.
Yeah,
it just literally died right after.
Yeah,
that is like so haunting.
That's a spirit that everyone's afraid to kind of dance around. Yeah, like I know, people when they comment on like doing Joker roles, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'll never. I just want to do my own thing, but hopefully make Heath and whoever else proud. It's
just kind of bled his life and his world into that.
Yeah,
literally. Insane.
Joaquin Phoenix, I love Joaquin Phoenix, so automatically I'm gonna love what he tries to do with his character. It's like
too perfect for that.
And in the first movie, we're not going to talk about the second movie. The second movie,
so it's a mess.
Even if he does a great job, it's a fucking mess. But he gave that character a different life than I ever thought I would ever see from the Joker, and it was just as powerful as I wanted it to be. It was like really, really cool and really just insane and emotional and very, very it's incredible to watch. It's simply incredible. It's
kind of like a Diary of a Madman kind of unraveling. You're just taking all these scenes where he's just like, wow, yeah, he's more and more unstable, more of a psychopath.
And I like the grounded approach to him and that world in Gotham. It's not Batman versus Joker. He's not over the top a clown. He's just like this really mentally unwell guy turning into this persona that he doesn't even realize it's a persona until kind of near the end. But or like the branding he did with it. But like he really dove into it. But throughout the whole unraveling throughout that movie is really cool to watch. So I don't know. I think those characters are just cinematically
crazy and inspiring to watch. That's something that I definitely would like to take note of for characters or filmmaking, in the future. Number 6. So much data.
There is a unique comfort about getting into a game and just really getting into the details of it, you could say.
Well, even just like doing, like watching, when you finally kind of sit down and watch a movie, or like, if I got a day to myself, like to have a room like this where I'm just switching between watching a film, playing some games, and just relaxing and doing my thing. Like, I think that'd be that's a great safe place to be. That's an exciting place to be every once in a while. I need to just like I want to just have that, because the hustle and bustle of every day is so much. Like we were talking about, like after this weekend, basically it's like, all right, back to the grind on everything. It's just like, you don't really want to get there though right
You're
now.
right.
It's like,
it's
I just like, this is, I know I need to. It's like, I know I have to, and I want to, because it helps.
Then part of you just want to kind of just play a game all day?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could, but even just like having like home body days, like the last couple of days, I've just been chilling at home, and it's just like, oh man, that's just, you can do so much and like enjoy yourself and be like, feel safe and stuff. And it's just, I don't get those a lot, man, but I do know it's
well, I realized that maybe that's a lot of what drives your creativity in a lot of ways. Maybe you've like had those games like growing up, and you've like now you've opened the door to more games. Now you've opened your doors to other places in the genre. You probably really want to look back at these games, and well, now you probably enhanced, you probably evolved. But
absolutely,
it's like there's probably an overwhelming amount of data that needs to evolve. That has a desire to evolve with perspective.
Yeah,
and we always talk about like balance. And it always feels like every day, I think the inevitable thing is just there's never enough time in the day to just pace everything out, to just really meet all that's out there, because I think there's an overwhelming amount of content to last a lifetime.
I do want to do more than just like
gaming
gaming and like watching movies. I do want to read more books like you. You started that.
It's still just like gaming. It's a long journey ahead.
I want to read. I want to write more. I want to do a lot of different like little things for myself creatively that I would like to explore and read up on or do whatever. But
the universe is the greatest step in getting there, brother. That's all I can say. So that'll happen this year.
I know. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, well, there's got to be something in this life that we can do, that I can do, to get to a comfortable place where I don't have to worry about anything, and I can have more days like this but still be productive and creatively how I want to work.
Right,
like
exactly.
And I don't know. Just like I that's my big dream. It's like, I don't want to be like super famous or anything like that at all. I don't ever want to like be like even like stupid rich, where it's just like I can't handle it. I want to be like comfortable with a good amount of money,
doing what you love,
doing
all the
what
time.
I love.
That's what I'm right there with you. I found that in a very strange way, like the past few months for myself. How it's like I've done that transition of like, like kind of, I think the stage performance ambition just really kind of knocked into just, wow, I think I really don't want to be famous. I'd really rather just be fulfilled and happy with getting to indulge my passions every day. That's really what I'm in it for.
In some sort of way.
Yeah.
And just be, but I guess that's every artist's dream.
You're right.
That's every artist's dream.
You're right. I mean, but I think like taking those steps by asking the universe of like what it takes to kind of get there on a daily basis, and just pace out a day to where work and your hobbies are inevitably will meet together. That's kind of the dream, I think, ultimately. And that's
where it's got to be. I mean, realistically, but then you're just kind of like, well, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all I can say is analyze the arts all day and night. That's all I can see it right now.
Like the last almost 10 years, I've just been throwing shit on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Right.
But
with you.
I mean, with Strange Films, definitely has been my journey that's closest to anything that I feel like has been where I want to be, in that dream. But
well, the people you met along the way, the things that have happened along the way, there's a lot that's happened.
There has been a lot that's happened,
and a lot of it's evolved to interesting,
it's kind of like
phenomenal places.
Yeah, it kind of and makes me feel like, man, what? It's in disbelief a lot, really, and it's not. So I don't know. It's like I really don't know where it goes next, and if I'll ever achieve kind of what we envision, like that we would like to. But it's just one of those things where it's like, well, I can't. I have some sort of weird intuition I have to just follow, or just like journey I have to follow, and it's so who knows, whatever.
Everyone's on their own pace, and that's the thing. The artist life is, dude, and I think I understand more and more the ones who are slow paced about it, honestly, because it's like I think it just makes so much sense. Because I think reality, when you're out to pursue something, and I think now I see ambition as just, well, I think you need a lot of data to take it and to find your own language about going about such an ambition before fully pursuing that ambition, you could say. I think it's best to keep it a dream until it's like really like fleshed out, maybe all the data that you want to explore in the gaming, all the data you want to explore in the movies watching, whatever art it is that you're wanting to pursue. Like, I think there's just a certain data that a creator needs to consume and flesh out and really find your identity within. Because I think I think at the heart of it, it's an identity search, and I think it's really an endless one in a sense. And I think a lot of it is intended to kind of see what glues is, throw things out every day and see what glues on the wall, and.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's I do the more like we've always talked about with kind of like the slow, like a lot of directors, it'd be 15, 20 years sometimes before they even get their first break. It's like the more we have talked about that, I'm like, yeah, you know what am I expecting in 10 years? I feel like, or even 5 years, like people, I think all think have yet to be like successful overnight, and it's just like. There's a lot of people who've done that, but it's not as common as you think.
But the ones I look up to the most took years and years, like decades to get in there. So, I mean, I believe in it much more like that kind of foundation.
And that's cool. That's very like, that is a great way to look at things.
And I mean, a lot of it's just like kind of by living out your life, on a daily basis, just doing what you love and being fulfilled with what you're doing, just your hobbies are, with being able to get into the games, get into the movies, whatever art it is, just to be able to get into it and be fulfilled doing it is everything.
I think communication is a big part of like, to get to somewhere. It's like, well, it's like you got to talk to people about it.
You got to talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it. And people who want to listen and engage in that conversation, that's where you want to be, because then that kind of starts stimulating a lot more, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think I realize that's a lot of what draws me
of an audience, I guess.
The social side. Yeah, it does provoke the hangout spirit of it in a lot of ways, I think, because I think that it's like it's a bunch of data gaming. I see all the arts as just having a bunch of data, and I think a lot of it has different intentions and reasoning. And I think with like movies, maybe I've turned to a lot of it like okay, like honestly, like how would I hold myself in a social scenario? Maybe like that kind of taught me a lot of ropes in a lot of ways. And I think with gaming now, I'm kind of looking for like maybe a world to really expand, like maybe that built up language and voice that built up over like 15 years or so years.
Yeah.
And it's like I need a whole new world of data to consume and kind of take in. It's a lot.
It's a lot of data.
Yeah, it's a lot of data. Games are just it's just data, bro. Yeah.
Well,
endless consumption of data. What holds up best over time for you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, dude. Well, I see. I was just looking at you put on One Battle After Another over here on the table.
Oh man, irresistible.
That's definitely my biggest discussion for this episode, because I've finally got to watch it, and so man, it's just that's another movie that I feel like a lot to unpack.
It's a perfect note. It's extreme.
Very cool. Very perfect note for me as far as the last like big movie of the year for 2025. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I have to really analyze all the movies I watched last year.
There are a lot.
And determine kind of what my favorite one was. It's either that or Sinners though as my favorite of the year, because I really like Sinners. I think in a way I liked it. I like it as my favorite, but One Battle After Another was definitely a lot of fun though. So
I put Chiwetel Voodoo as my other favorite. It's really I'm serious. I'm just pulling my list, and that's just organic. I'm not even trying to poke it at you with it.
Number 5, Superhero 2000.
And you're talking about Ian McKellen, which really segued me in. That was one of the many characters I was loving in my viewing of X-Men. I'll just go and segue into that.
Got into it, man.
So I got.
I'm glad you watched it. I know you said you were wanting to watch it for the next episode.
I really wanted to, because honestly, this was an implemented when I was literally like 6 or 7 years old, man. I remember having the DVD and just watching like the opening scenes, like they're like I think it was just like kind of like a concentration camp kind of thing. That's when the whole story kick starts, and I think I had an instinct telling me to wait until like I'm older until I should actually get deep into all this, even though I'd always been mystified by that in X2. So now I've watched that first movie, and I think. Firstly, it's just the directing is so good in these movies. The atmosphere is phenomenal. It actually reminds me a lot of a neo-noir aesthetic. I feel like there's a lot of noir going into it. And just like we were saying in Lord of the Rings, it felt like this movie wouldn't happen now.
Right.
I really felt that to my heart so much that I was like, it was kind of tear-inducing, honestly, in its own kind of way, like watching that.
It looks more grounded. It looks more like practical. It looks like, I don't know, it's just not overly flashy. It's just
down to earth. It's like a soap opera, like in a very perfectly inviting sort of way.
They really, really focus on the characters and their emotion behind like what they're fighting for, and for as themselves too. Like so you watched the first one,
right? I'm almost fun with the second, so I've seen most of it, so I can pretty much talk about.
And you can see a common theme with Hugh Jackman Wolverine and his arc, because he is the one that's like the most. He's trying to chase his past more than anyone, and he's just like he's got demons, man. So it's like X2 really reveals a lot of that, which
lot
is, but like it's
darker
insane.
movie.
And then like in X1, you know, like you've got the whole story with Rogue, who she's just, you know, she's hurt, you know, because
There's a
she
lot of
can't even
characters.
love you, she can't touch anybody. So it's just like all these mutants have their own like their own tragedy behind them.
Yeah.
And that's what's really great about the movie. It's just like you're really just kind of along for the ride with these characters, and they're going through like their own politics, their own emotional depth, you know, and of course, like then you've got the real world against them, and then you've got Magneto and his team, and you're just like, whoa, okay, because I forgot we're all superheroes and there's a supervillains out here. It's just like, but I remember loving that movie, man, seeing it in theaters, owning it, and just watching it so much. And then X2 has always been kind of the staple in the trilogy, you know, just like Spider-Man 2, you know, to me. Like, it's just
it
like...
feels like almost a similar influence is happening. I think it's so cool you actually saw these in theaters at the
Yeah,
time.
oh yeah, I
that's
saw
the
them
best,
all,
dude.
man.
That's the best, dude. Wow, you were following it and everything. I don't know, that got me me so excited. I was up all night last night, man, just taking in X-Men, just taking in the mythology and all that. And how many good characters, you just mentioned all these characters. Yeah, and I think that's what it is. These were rich characters, rich and emotionally driven character arcs in a lot of ways. And I'm like, dude, I just found all of it completely entertaining and accessible this time around watching it. Yeah, you have like Patrick Stewart also. Xavier, that's a great character.
Iconic, man.
Iconic, man.
Professor X, and like
Professor
that
X
whole,
Storm, Al Berry.
and then him and there's so much history that's not like it's kind of tapped on, you know, throughout these movies, but there's not like they're not fully explored. They're only more explored as you go throughout the series, and you just know like that Professor X and Magneto have like this friendship but adversary, you know, like approach to themselves and their own and what their causes are. You know, one's fighting for the cause of humanity, and the other's like, fuck humanity. You know, like so it's such an interesting dynamic.
It's magnificent, dude. It's magnificent, and the soap opera is just amazing. I think when I'm noticing like X2, it's just like Spider-Man 1 and 2. It's like, wow, the scope is more epic. It's kind of more of a moody, kind of drawn out sort of like depiction, but all for the better. It actually enhances everything in every single way. And
stakes are like very intense.
Stakes are very high in this. Yes, absolutely. And one of my favorite additions is what's his Alan Cumming and
Nightcrawler.
as Nightcrawler.
That
That's
opening is amazing.
That is like might be my favorite Alan Cumming role. That's a huge thing.
Dude, I was obsessed with Nightcrawler from not only the show, but like when I saw him in the live action, I was like, whoa! I mean, he was my favorite in the movie, and like again, like that whole movie is so epic in general, but Nightcrawler was such a great addition to the whole thing, and he's coming back for Avengers Doomsday.
The best. yes, that's
crazy,
dude. I didn't expect it at all. I had no idea about any of that Alan Cumming stuff and Nightcrawler at the beginning of that. So that to me, I surprised in the best way.
Yeah.
No, this is like easily one of my favorite. Usually, it's like 5-star movies I've seen in a while. I mean, it's perfect, dude. It's perfect soap opera, perfect action, and just I don't know. It's like the mystification I had growing up over the decades. Like it was just warranted. I mean, watching it now, it's like I just really fully appreciated everything about all this. And I just want to keep watching it, taking the characters more and more.
Yeah.
So I think right now it's just like, wow, that was a lot. That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was like a charge about it, bro.
Yeah, you have to think. I mean, like, you know, watching it from the beginning, that's what got me hooked into. Like, I was always I watched the X-Men cartoon growing up, but then when the live action came out, that's just like next level for me, you know. So, but you're invested in the series by then. So X-Men: The Last Stand came after that, and then they did the. It was like a prequel trilogy.
Like First Class?
Yeah, it was X-Men First Class.
That was the first one.
Matthew Vaughn did that.
Yeah,
and then there's Days of Future Past, which Days of Future Past is awesome because it I want to say Bryan Singer directed that one too.
He did.
Yeah, Days of Future Past, because it brings back the characters, or it brings back the whole story and everything from the original trilogy to Days of Future Past. So, and it blends the prequel trilogy into it. So then it just rewrites the whole history timeline of X-Men, like within its own movie universe, and it's insane. It's insane.
I can't wait to see that.
And then after that, they did
watch all these.
Yeah, they did X-Men Apocalypse, I think, after that, which was okay. Oscar Isaac was Apocalypse in that. Great character. Like they use a lot of cool characters in it and stuff, but it's a little unevenly paced, I think, or something, you know. But this is where you start getting into those later superhero movie years, you know, where a lot of this is, again, they're becoming more flashier, CGI, you know, all these things. Like, so the technicality of filmmaking changes in the scope of the storytelling. And then I think then there's one more. It's like Dark Phoenix or something like that, and that was just a stinker, dude. It was really bad. But yeah, then so I mean they're coming back, all the like Hugh Jackman or all the X-Men, like
Ian McKellen and Professor X, Cyclops, like all these characters are coming back for Avengers Doomsday. Alan Cumming is just like.
I hope they pull it off. Yeah, 'cause that's exciting.
It's gonna be epic, dude. Yeah.
I feel like there's like, I think the superhero it's all over the map. Like the quality of the superhero genre is in a lot of ways now. 'Cause I think like there's something about those 2000 movies, and I particularly point to X-Men and the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. It's like there was nothing quite like that. And I feel like nothing like that's happened ever since. I think like movies like that happened, and I think like Dark Knight was like the final boss of all like that. And I think I don't know. It's like the world kind of changed forever. I think in perception after the Dark Knight. I think that was so just intensely groundbreaking about that kind of formula. That that really put something in motion. But there's something about the early 2000s era about that similar formula that's like it's almost like a melodrama that feels perfectly inviting, and it just feels like it's just those movies are extremely rewatchable and extremely entertaining. And it seems like I don't know for sure.
They're like time capsules.
They're rooted. Yeah, exactly. They're extreme time capsules, very much so. Like, and they're very much. They seem like they're very rooted in the comic books as well, from what I understand. That's super cool because I know like a lot of the stories are like set usually throughout like a lot of 60s influence going into it, but it's very modernized perfectly. I don't know, I think growing up with the Spider-Man movies, I'm relating. I imagine what X-Men was like growing up with all that, and just like that's just there's a real uniquely personal foundation about it. I'm sure there was a lot of suspense value about like seeing the next movie. It's like what's the next one going to be like?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Also, staying up all night reading just magazines, talking all.
Oh
like,
yeah, you really didn't know especially because movies weren't being made like how they were now or how they are now, and social media and the internet wasn't like how it is now. So it's kind of just like there's this big mysterious factor of like I remember like seeing the end credits of like all these movies and being like, oh my god, there's gonna be a second one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and then you're just like, when, and you don't hear anything about it for like a year and a half or something like that, and then all of a sudden you see like a teaser trailer for it. You're like, so it's just like these were different times, man, and they're much more like that's a good way to put it. I think after the Dark Knight, things did really change for the superhero genre. I mean, Iron Man came out in like 2008, which is the same year.
Same year.
Yeah, so
just a little bit before, and
it's Marvel's kickoff of what they are now as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Iron Man was a great. I rewatched that, and it still holds up pretty well. It's a really good movie, and it does a great job of feeling very grounded. But you can tell. Oh, they amped their stuff up as far as like making this look and feel like a comic book movie. It is flashier, but it's like in a good way. It's not like it's not overstimulating. It's very, very fun, and it's very comic book accurate. And you're just like, wow, this is real. This is a superhero movie. Like this feels like alive. Like I'm reading and seeing this come to life. And Marvel has done a great job for a lot of their career of making that feeling not too much, but like you can tell it just has to go that way to truly capture the comic book essence of like the pages and stuff.
Yeah.
But same thing with DC and Marvel and whatever else comes out these days. It's just like at some point it gets to be too much because then Marvel has put out a ton of stinkers over the last like 5-6 years especially, and it's it's just kind of quite obvious when you watch something from 2025 to 2005, or the sequels, so it's just interesting. But I did watch one superhero movie from the last time we were on here, which was Spider-Man No Way Home.
Dude,
though
I was so curious to hear your thoughts. I have so much mystique value about that series.
Yeah, man. So, and this just leads into kind of like the modern storytelling of superhero movies, but like
probably the best direction is probably within that trilogy.
Well, it's an interesting out of this new trilogy, No Way Home's the best.
Right
it's but there's no denying it's really it's kind of like a fan service. It's just almost a big team up movie. Plot doesn't really make the most sense, but you're just like you're here for the ride. Number 4, retrospect. I've grown to really appreciate the 70s style of filmmaking as I got older. Just like. So there's something I'm still needing to study a lot more of the 70s. I'm more familiar with the 80s, like and onward and stuff. But the 70s is like the more I dig into it, I'm like, man, there's a lot of great innovative stuff here.
You're right, man. It's funny because I feel exactly the vice versa about. Like I feel like I got a lot of 70s. I need more 80s always in me. So that's like I think that's a perfect contrast. And because when you look at like the 70s, I suppose it's fascinating to see how a lot of the 80s was like a spawn of a lot of the 70s. You can say 80s was also like. Yeah, like 70s was like almost a lot of chaos and insanity getting explored in art in a very raw, uniquely raw way, open and raw. Was never been more so.
Uniquely raw, dude. It's
just
like,
raw.
It kind of just feels like almost you're like very, almost a little bit more personal level to it, the whole thing. I don't know. Just like got it right there with it. But yeah, uniquely raw is a good way to put it.
You got that right, absolutely. Yeah. And then by contrast, I feel like the '80s had like a distinctive like transcendence about that the art in that decade. Like a lot of art was just, particularly its most groundbreaking, almost technically speaking, the most futuristic decade in a lot of ways. I think it might have been the most ahead of its time decade.
Yeah, it kind of went above and beyond, I think, in like terms of scale.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, what now? Especially technology is there, and like the rise of, the entertainment as a whole. Everything just kind of booms in a sense. It's just like, so filmmaking naturally gets affected by that with scope.
Got that
right. What the foundation that was already being built upon for decades, and then really with the '70s just kind of exploded, I think, into a whole new kind of diverse way.
Sure did. You got that right. Yeah, the '70s really kickstarted something that's very very original and very groundbreaking, I think, to this decade in a lot of ways.
Like, I mean, I guess you could say from like the '50s and '60s, filmmaking was it's still very new, and just mostly was black and white, for a good while, and then it kind of gets into this new territory, but the technology is still not quite there, so it's just kind of feels old fashioned, and then kind of starts like, some things start getting bigger, of course, but it's just everything looks kind of scaled retro, like it just looks very old and stuff like that, almost like a time capsule.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden the '70s come around, and it's like, okay, now there's a little bit more technicality in the whole thing, and like movies are now studied on and like performed, like they're written now to a more bigger scope, and characters being explored that you would never see, I think, before. So it's just like, I think there's a whole complex layer, but still raw and old-fashioned still in a sense.
Yeah,
too,
well, it's like, it's fun to be close up on characters. It's fun to get to the uncomfortable shades of characters in a lot of ways. And the '70s was starting that, and it's like now more than ever, there's still fresh ways to take it.
I think about Easy Rider a lot.
Big time
That's a movie that I've only seen one time, but it still sticks with me.
You never forget it once you see it once. It's basically an ultimate road trip film, and you kind of get this like, going across the country, like just sort of like this really original sort of just road trip. There's a real simplicity about the whole thing.
Yeah, and there's like some very vulnerable kind of tough moments in that.
There are some extremely depressing moments in that. Yeah, and it's like a lot of it's dark. Yeah, because like a lot of there's a lot of scenes of just enjoying the ride, enjoying the nature scenery, enjoying the characters around them, and then suddenly chaos kind of hits them.
They get robbed at one night.
They get robbed at one point. One gets murdered. Like it's awful.
And there's like that bad trip at the end. That shit is
bad.
Wild.
It feels terrible.
It does.
It feels really terrible.
And like I feel like the '70s really only captures that in a certain way. Like that I feel like I kind of get that sense a lot throughout some of the movies I've seen in the '70s. Like,
dude, you got that right.
Didn't what's it called? Wes Craven's film, The Last House on the Left.
Last House on the Left. Yeah, that was '72.
Yeah, that movie is
I've
fucked.
heard that is like the most fucked thing ever.
It is fucked.
Woo! I've heard it goes so beyond.
Watch,
that was the year when movies, I think '71, '72, movies just wanted to be like just fuck you up, basically.
That's what I'm saying.
That was
like,
I heard a
the
big
70s
example.
really were just like, oh, you can make movies? Well, let's show you how we make
Let's
a movie.
go crazy.
But like they're still just like, well, let's see what happens kind of style,
Shoot.
Gosh,
I know about
man.
where it goes because I've seen the original version of that, the version Spring, made in 1960, which is extraordinarily subtle at getting across that same kind of plot.
I remember you saying that.
Great movie, dude. That's. I think I'm going to go on to definitely try to be influenced, make a movie similar to that.
Wow.
It's like intense, and it's just like a psychological, because you're really getting like the dad's perspective and all of it more than anything. I think I made it like feel like, I don't know if the remake does that. I'd actually be curious to contrast the two when we were talking about it. But
I think it's oh gosh, I know the parents are like perspective are involved in it, but I don't think it's like based off their. I think it's the whole thing is based off of like the girl's perspective.
I think that's what I've heard, which just sounds too horrible.
It's really up close, man. It's really uncomfortable.
That's too horrible.
There's like they're just all the people are so nasty and awful and terrible, and they're gross, and you stick with them, because it starts off at their house, and like she's about to leave for like the night or something, and he's kind of the dad, they have his dad talk to her, and then they take off, and it just kind of sucks because I think you see when he finds out she's gone, she's missing or something like that, but you stick with her and her friend throughout the whole night and into the next day, and it's just it's hard, man. But the fucked up thing about it is like throughout the whole movie where they're having all these great not great, like these terrible like things happening, then it transitions to like where they're going with this all like great happy music or something. There's like this like, kind of like weird like upbeat music going on about it,
it's
and it's like, ooh, it really just rubs you the wrong way. It's like,
I've heard
oh
it so
my
off.
gosh,
I've heard
man.
it is off, dude.
That was a hard movie to watch, but it was like really, I don't know. We just, me and Wendy watched it together. It was one of those movies we wanted to see for ourselves, because especially Wes Craven. You're just like, wow, man. Like yeah, Last House on the Left.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've not seen it yet. I've just heard it. I've heard it's a very stylized depiction of what it's going for, and I haven't seen the original. I was like, oh man, that's intimidating, dauntingly intimidating.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'll watch that one. I actually don't know.
I feel like you've seen a lot more fucked up.
I probably have, so I probably should see it. I probably should. I probably should.
I feel like that's kind of tame compared to some things you've seen before.
You're right,
dude.
actually.
Yeah.
You are right.
That's something we would say, dude.
You got me there, dude.
I'm like, you see like all kinds of really fucked up shit.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fucked up shit.
I haven't seen a lot of fucked up,
I can handle it. I'd just be curious. I'd just be curious to contrast it to the version spring, see what the similarities differences are.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I'm curious to see what the original that one was.
I'll try to get that for you next. I'll line up for next time. Yeah, interesting movie. Yeah, I feel like the Virgin Spring really explores it in a really it's just very mountainous the way it explores it. It doesn't really get close up on like the scenario at all. It kind of just explores what the psychological toil that it takes on the other characters. Kind of like how her family's reacted. It's like, oh man, they want revenge. They want to kill this guy, and it's like it just goes all over the place basically, and then it just turns into a very quiet defeat basically. It's just very contemplative about the scenario. I thought it was very richly portrayed, very like masterfully handled in every sense of the word in that movie. So I particularly love that. That's probably that'd be at least my top 250, maybe top 100. Break it down. For
those who don't know, Blake has a top 600 list.
That's where I got currently.
And not only a top 600, but it rotates every once in a while. He shifts up the whole list.
It might be tomorrow. The order. Tomorrow might be the day I'm shifting.
That's a lot, man. I can't even fathom that.
It's
and then I look through the list, and I'm like, I start getting lost because I'm like, there's so many movies, and then I'm like, I don't know, like 75% of these movies, and then. Yeah, it's just like, wow, you are the movie guru to me. I just really think so.
Thanks, brother. It means a lot, man. I'm happy to be that for anybody, man. So that means the world. But I formed a lot of that ambitious. I think just because I would do that stuff while I was working in hotels. Like I was like behind the scenes. Like whenever I wasn't up front, I would take like these intervals of like numerous minutes and just really get obsessive about like my film list to such an intense degree that I think it just gave me the stamina. I guess in a weird way, it got my DNA. Kind of like we talked about like playing these games when we were younger. It's like it gets in your DNA almost to kind of do that stuff.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of a DNA, like playing a game I'm familiar with kind of feeling about it, just because I think I built that over the years. It took years to get to that level. I think it was just, I was doing it a lot while I was working at hotels, man. So I think I just got my imagination stirring. That's why I was particularly obsessed with just contemplating all these movies and just like kind of contrasting all of them and all that stuff and trying to get my list down, which I found an answer. It's like I think I had a question mark a lot about what to do with those lists, and I've actually found my answer. And a lot of it consists of like our friendship and a lot of things I found here. A lot of it's about bringing it to reality in a lot of ways. Like that's what inspired me to write the book idea. It's like that's all, because I find a lot of that ambition. I make these lists, and it's like I really hit a sincere like almost like loneliness about it too, where it's like, okay, I should have shared that with someone somehow. But there's no way to talk about this with anybody. My goal is I'm trying to make a very, very accessible book about a lot of these thoughts and ideas.
I think that's a beautiful goal to have, man.
Thank you, man.
I really do.
That means
a
lot.
That's great.
Number 3, holiday cheer.
I was curious what director Darren Aronofsky means to you.
It's funny. I know the name, but it's like every time I hear the name, I don't know what movies.
It's always a weird one. Yeah, I'll name off The Wrestler, Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, Caught Stealing.
I've seen all three of those. Requiem I haven't seen since I was like 18 or 19, but I remember being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, big time. I remember that. The biggest like, okay, I'm not watching that for years. It's a masterpiece, but I'm not watching this for years.
The Wrestler, I absolutely love The Wrestler.
Actually, my favorite.
It's like it's so fucking good.
That is a masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece, man. There's a lot to that movie where it's like, it just hits every like cinematic view that I think of or something.
Yeah,
it really just hits a different spectrum for me.
It really hits on a personal language. Yeah, it's like just like raw passion, maybe living for one big thing.
It's I love that. I would like to rewatch that again now.
There's a lot, man. Yeah, I've watched quite a few lately.
I haven't seen Black Swan, or I saw Black Swan for the first time at your place with you and Wendy.
Right, dude.
Yeah,
I love that.
It was a good viewing. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of I don't know. There's a sting or something to it.
It's overwhelming.
It's a little overwhelming. It was a little overwhelming for me.
It is an overwhelming movie, yeah.
But it was good. It was really good, and it was kind of really fucked at the end. I was like,
Yeah, it gets disturbing.
It was very disturbing.
Got a lot of attachment to that movie. I remember seeing that in theaters upon release, and I was mesmerized. I just thought that was just one of my all-time favorite mind-bending thriller type movies. I think I was like right at the time when I was like really obsessed with stuff like Fight Club, and I remember thinking, this almost feels like it's hitting me on a lot of these chords. I just kind of like the abrasive mind-bending, kind of abrasive. I guess that's the underlining word. I guess there's an abrasive tone to those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Aronofsky's certainly an abrasive director, and it's always like he reveals that in a lot of different shades. Like something like The Wrestler, I think is probably his most rewatchable movie overall. When I think about it, Requiem for a Dream is not one I really want to rewatch a lot, but it's just kind of there for power. I really love how he's evolved. Like there was like some rocky phases. Like I was not interested in seeing his take on Noah.
He did a Noah movie?
Yeah, he made a Noah movie. I haven't heard anything good about it. It does not look interesting.
Okay.
Then The Whale. I think that's like a love or hate. I really did not like that movie. I'm kind of on the hate side on that. I don't know.
Dude, I don't know why it cracks me up because I heard that movie was like awesome, like really, really great.
I know most people loved it. Yeah, maybe I'll see it again in time. But
yeah.
I was really not in.
I wasn't into it.
I was just not a fan. I just
Do you like Brendan Fraser?
I do like Brendan Fraser a lot. I didn't really think it was his acting. I just thought it was. It seemed way too pointless. I didn't really. I was like, okay, why? I don't know.
I just love hearing your point of view.
It's awesome.
So great, dude.
It's great. So great. Yeah, and usually I don't get that way with movies. I don't know. Somehow I just thought like that was just particularly a lot. I don't know. That was just pointlessly too nice. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it again and maybe feel a little more about it. But
that's so funny, dude.
I don't know. That was just too. I just didn't. I thought it was just kind of uselessly nihilistic. Usually, I don't know.
I'm laughing, dude. I'm sorry.
I don't mind. Dude, you're
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The great ones, yeah. Mother. Did you see Mother?
I haven't seen that. No.
Oh, I love that one's insane. That one really goes crazy.
He did that? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 2017 he did that. That was like a Daredevil movie, man. He really went out and just kind of made something really insane. It's like pretty much all set one location, just kind of just Javier Bardem, Jennifer Lawrence, and then they just it's just like literally thousands of people started invading into their house basically, and it just really, really gets weird. I mean, weird. And it gets disturbing. I mean, messed up levels of disturbing.
God. I know. I think Wendy wants to watch that one.
Really recommend it. It was polarizing, man. I was big time in the Love It camp on that one. I loved it, dude. Yeah, it's very original. I'd say a lot of the reasons you love Hereditary, I'm like Midsommar. I kind of hits a lot of those chords, I find.
Okay.
And then Caught Stealing. That's the latest one he did this year. I am obsessed.
That just came out on streaming. We want to watch that.
Recommended strong. I actually got that on my
cool
TV thing,
dude,
too.
I can't believe that's a game changer, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I got access to all the movies I have on my Apple TV.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Bought a lot of movies on there over the time.
There's a lot of great ones, dude. Amazing movies on there, yeah.
Yeah, man. You got all access to anytime you want, brother. But yeah, Caught Stealing is... I thought that was mesmerizing. It was a different take from Aronofsky than anything else he's made. It's a little bit more of a gritty, kind of, I'd say, actually, probably along with The Wrestler, his most accessible movie to rewatch.
I dig it.
Like, it's really just, it kind of has a Tarantino movie. It's set in the late 90s. I mean, it's just really raw. I really love Austin Butler as a lead. I'm starting to realize how much I enjoy his acting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like him from what I've seen, I think.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see that one.
Really, really recommended. Yeah, it's a great crime movie. I mean, just all around a great aesthetic to it.
Hell yeah.
Did you ever play the Myst games? You ever heard of the game Myst?
The Myst games?
Yeah, like MYST.
Oh.
It's like a computer game from the 90s.
I think I remember seeing the title on something, but I never played the game.
It was a PC game. I was quite obsessed with those growing up. That was another one I had a guidebook. Those would always just... Oh, man, it's such a... I'm not trying to be funny, but literally a mystifying influence. It's like, I just can't help it. It's like, it is a pun. It just is. Yeah, dude. And it flows.
Absolutely.
Mystifying game.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's really cool. Like, set on an island, and it's like you're just trying to find all these pages to a lost book. I mean, it's a great... Yeah, I love the world.
You ever play Alan Wake?
No, I've never played that.
That just kind of reminded me of that.
Really? That's cool.
Alan Wake was an Xbox 360 game that came out.
Right.
And it's about like this author. Oh, I could be wrong on who he was, but I think he was like an author. But he's like, I don't know, something about his wife missing or something. He goes to this like town, and
sounds pretty similar.
Dude, it's like very like, it's very trippy. I feel like David Lynch like esque, and it's just like
super. Describe Myst too.
Yeah, super. It is very groundbreaking storytelling and some interesting stuff going on in that movie. But
like
they made a second one like 15 years later or something like that, dude. But yeah, just kind of when you said the Myst, I don't know why that reminded me of Alan Wake.
Yeah,
it's a really really cool game. Yeah, no, I never played the Myst. I was thinking of the movie The Myst.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I just watched that for the first time.
I did too, actually. It's pretty good.
I actually really liked it.
Yeah, pretty good movie.
Yeah, Frank Darabont.
Yeah, Frank Darabont. Guy did Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile.
And started the Walking Dead show.
Yep.
I was totally getting Walking Dead vibes in that of how they filmed it.
It's a similar tone.
Dude, yeah, it was total like copy and paste, but with their own settings. And the way that characters talk to each other and the rawness of the real situations that are happening and stuff like that, and this panic that something apocalyptic is happening outside is like, it's scary and it's very real. And it's like, dude, I really like that movie. Yeah,
Paranoia brews big time, and as it goes, I mean, by the end of that one, it's just
dude, the ending is fucked. Especially me having
a gross
a son, dude, it is fucked.
That's just the
worst. And then it's like,
you didn't have to
if
do
you
any
just
of that.
Waited a little longer, dude.
That's
so bad.
Visceral.
I would like. There's a part where he, in that moment where after he does the thing, he takes the gun and he's like does it to himself. He tries to, and there's nothing coming out, and that's how I would feel. Just like I cannot. I would feel like when those soldiers are coming to, I would like take that gun and like put it to my head.
That was like the most suicidal thing I've ever seen.
It's so bad, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't even.
Oh my god,
way.
What a fucked ending.
So worse.
But I love Thomas Jane, dude. Have you seen the original Punisher movie?
I've heard a lot about that with John Travolta. I've heard a lot about that. I've not seen it.
It's a great movie.
Dude, I really love Thomas Jane.
Movie. It's so fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thomas Jane's awesome. My introduction to him was from Boogie Nights. He plays one of the guy who really kind of breaks he kind of breaks everything bad in all sense. He's kind of one of the ultimate criminals, and he's the one who goes crazy getting the whole outfit.
I forgot he was in it.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't look like at all like himself in like Punisher or anything else. Mm-hmm. Which I need to see Punisher. I'm very interested in seeing that since I love him, and I know John Travolta's a big time hit or miss, but I'm still interested in seeing them in that one.
Yeah, he's an asshole in it, dude. He's like,
he's good at playing.
You're like, damn, like you fucking suck.
Yeah, yeah. When you get like after Pulp Fiction, it's like you kind of just want to see Travolta act like an asshole. Otherwise, it's not that interesting.
I like
in Face Off for that matter.
Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3 or whatever the fuck.
I've heard that title. I've not seen it.
Yeah, I know there's an original and then there's a remake with John Travolta and Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. It's fun, dude. That's and he's like bald in it. He's kind of sinister and crazy, dude. Yeah, it's good.
He's a crazy guy.
Yeah,
he just is, man. Yeah, that's his way.
Number 2, Slow Burn.
My Facebook came up this morning saying share. They share the memories like every day or whatever. And it was like 8 years of friendship with Blake Hall, and I was like, oh wow. And we met in 2018, so that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, perfectly. The K-Brew out, and
and I'm sure we connected on Facebook before we actually met up. So I think you messaged me at first.
Probably like around like the January range. Yeah, I think we planned to meet up like a month later because I saw the creative endeavors you were into. I'm like, well, it just resonates. The journey resonates so much. And
yeah, man. It brought up pictures of. The Suds and Cinema Film Fest that I hosted.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then it brought up pictures of My Good Neighbor.
2018. That's a very that's a dear year.
And then it showed a picture of 2014. It was April 2024. April 2024. And your beard was really long and your hair was kind of long and you had like these kind of like rosy sunglasses on, and I could not tell where it was.
I know what you're talking about. We were out at
I don't know where we're at.
It looked like a city somewhere. I don't know where either. Yeah, I couldn't actually put that down either.
Yeah, I was like just looking. I was like, I cannot, because there's no other background besides like
like maybe it was from Ohio a long time ago. Or
no, it was like in 2024.
Yeah, I know. That's
like the picture was from 2024.
That's crazy.
So I'm just trying to figure out.
Where did we go in 2024?
I don't know. It was April 2024. It had to be after I got back from Vegas. So I was like,
that's surreal. I actually can't pin that down.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to show you the picture and see if you remember it. But anyways, happy 8 years. This is and now we've done a lot of different endeavors over the years.
We have done a lot.
Of course, you came on just helping me with like behind the scenes of filmmaking. We've always watched movies together and things like that. We've started probably like 3 or 4 different podcasts over the years.
We have
the El Burrito blog podcast.
That's right. I'll never forget that.
We did one. I think it was Strange Talks. Remember that?
Yeah.
We did like 6 of those.
Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah, Strange Dogs. Yeah, we just had a bunch of episodes.
We were doing the El Burrito. What was it? Strange News for a second.
Yeah, Strange News. That's right.
We were just trying to do all kinds of stuff, but then because I know we've always been very ambitious with what we've wanted to do.
Yeah,
and
ambition and just throwing things on the wall to see what lands in the years.
Yeah,
what's next in passing time.
COVID and life kind of just got in the way
really
for,
changed everything.
it still gets in the way, like
2020 was an original year and all this. That's when I was working with you at the lab, and that was a very original year, and everything. The world just kind of broke down and shut down. We also went up to Philly earlier that year also, so I feel like that was a very monumental year in a sense.
It was of course that was a year I realized I was going to be a father too, so it was just a lot very monumental year, and here we are in 2026 now, and I'm glad that we found a consistency of like our friendship and what we like to do, how we like to hang out, and find like our creative endeavors that we know we stay in our lanes at, which is like we make movies when we can, we support each other in our projects, and we like to talk, so it's like let's find that proper outlet to
we're finding balance and everything, and maybe just being able to connect on like detailed oriented levels, because I think we met and it's like we already connected on a lot of dots, and I think we just kind of continuously find further ways to evolve how we connect in a lot of ways, and I think that's just so fascinating and so cool.
It's cool, man. I'm really thankful for your friendship, and I'm thankful for anyone who takes time to listen to our shenanigans that we ever put out, because we throw a lot of shit out.
Yeah, we do. It means the
world,
shit on
the wall.
To have it out, that's what it is. Just throw shit on the wall. I'm the kind of guy. I realize I genuinely love being able to throw shit on the wall every single day, and just what lands. I don't know. Like just do it anyways.
Some bass recordings lately.
I have been doing that lately. That's always been an instinct I've had. I should have been doing this like a decade ago, honestly. But now it's just one of those things. I just kind of have the idea of if I can do it, I'm just going to put it out in the public at this rate. And I think I've really built that up so intensely that I'm just going to do it every day indefinitely right now. It's just see how it feels, because it's just wow. I feel a lot more calm in my day-to-day life whenever I do. I'm like uniquely calm right now.
You sound good.
That means a lot, man.
You,
cool.
You played really well. I was watching and listening. And I was like, oh yeah. You really keep up with it. You sound really good.
Thanks. That means a lot, man. Yeah, that's right. I think that's where my mind honestly goes when I'm drifting off all the time. So it's like, well, I might as well just give that to just put that out in the public. I don't know. It just feels good. It doesn't.
Well, it's like, and I understand that, man. Like it's like wanting to try something every day. I mean, that's how I feel internally, but reality I can't really accomplish. I mean, I'm sure anybody could say, well, that's an excuse you could, but it's like I could, but man, I mean, like life gets.
You got to get there in your own way, though, where it flows organically.
I won't force anything.
Don't force it. It's better to, because that's the thing. You want to have that thing you're good at every day, but you also, if you force it, it kind of makes it worse, and it doesn't work in the long run.
And I learned that lesson too.
It's got to be able to connect the dots with your everyday life in a sense.
I learned that lesson too, like throughout the years with my content and stuff, and but like the other day, I made that video on Patreon, which was just what am I listening to? Just like trying to go through like the last 5 records I spun, because I'm kind of reorganizing my vinyl collection, things like that. And then I just was like, well, let me just do like a 15-minute video of like talking and reviewing these albums.
Yeah, I heard a recent one, and that got me excited hearing you curious about like the Metallica bug and talking about that. I was like, yeah, man, that's all kinds of stuff that you go down there.
So, but that's just for me, to see if it's I like, again, just to try something, put it out there, on Patreon or wherever we're doing things, and and just seeing if it gets anything. I mean, just like this show, and just like in our movies and stuff like that. I was talking to you about my insecurities with TV Land. I'm editing that movie right now. And, the last scene I just edited was like really frustrating, and I was kind of just like really like, what did I do? Why did I, what's it gonna look like, and how, it's just that. How did you word it?
You kind of said it was maybe too campy, like.
Well, no, yeah, definitely. I was thinking it was gonna be like campy, but you said like an existential, like.
Yeah, it kind of gets you existential.
Yeah.
You feel existential
when you're editing and stuff like that.
I mean, you do absolutely editing, because we talk about like editing kind of drives a certain madness, and I think that's it right there. It drives a perfectionism, and it's like there's a real particular feeling that's like, wow, it's almost impossible to feel satisfied with it in a moment, whenever you're taking on its surrealism, especially because you have a surrealistic vision, and I think you're probably looking at it like, is this
in my head? It's very surreal and very polished and very like intense and beautiful the way I envision it. And then you look at the reality of what you make, and you're like, well, the vision's there, but it's not as like what you look like in your head, which I don't even know what it looks like in my head. I just know I see, this like a story in my, original story that people would be interested to watch.
It's like having it's like having a conversation, and maybe something, and you kind of needs to hear the other side of the conversation before it can be fulfilling in a lot of ways.
So I don't know, but I also understand my own process, and like a lot of times, like I really can't see the vision. Like I can't really see what the movie looks and feels like. It's very close to what I originally kind of see it as until the very end, because I get so lost in the edit. Like, it's so frustrating and annoying and hard and challenging and long and long and long, and it's just like tedious, and so I can't really see it right then and there. So it's not until like kind of when it all starts coming together, like, oh yeah, okay, this is, and then after the fact, like Cho, I was like, this movie's pretty good,
Yeah.
Like, I remember The Gifted. After I put it together, at first I was kind of like, oh gosh, but after I'm like, all right, I really like what I did here.
Yeah.
It all kind of comes together.
It's surreal. It's so interesting kind of going through that motion, because like when you were in the moment of filming it, you were probably feeling great about it in
Yes,
the moment.
very
You feel
much
like
so.
quite amazing, triumphant. And I think the overthinking happens when it's like inevitably you're going to overthink every little detail, and then it's like, well, I could have done this, I could have. It's always like, what, I don't know. There's just all these question marks kind of hit you, and then I think that just is a really stressful amount of data after a while, and I don't know the way around it, 'cause I've never really been able to conquer that. Hopefully we'll see in my next projects.
I want to help you edit.
I want you to. I would really want that.
I really do.
I really want that.
I feel like that's something, a goal of mine would be eventually to.
With Reverie,
Help
man.
you
Maybe when I
behind the
finish
scenes
that,
on
let's
that
maybe
stuff.
we can get into the editing together.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'd really like to hear your thoughts and see if give me an opportunity, like, give me a chance to show you. Okay, how can I transcribe your thoughts into this project that you shot?
Yeah.
See what you think, and if you want to go a different way or however you do it, that'd be that's that. At least you can. It's something I've always wanted to try.
Yeah, and that's what I've learned about the film ultimately more than anything. It's the ultimate. You can't be done alone. Kind of process. You need other people, and I mean more than ever. I think the humanity of this really lives in the film side of things.
And
big time.
And with TV Land, I've told you, like, TV Land was it's the most personal project to date for me, and it's because I'm trying to challenge myself, or not even challenge myself, but like go back to my roots on things, which was the self-discovery and passion of why I love filmmaking. And
just being extremely
like
personal about it and close up.
Because, like, I think it goes back to what we were talking about with the ego of the artist and things like that. I feel like I developed an ego after a while, not like a super toxic way, I think, around, but it's just like enough to, when I look back and reflect on things, I kind of got a little too confident, a little too in my head, a little too flashy and work, and
it's complex.
And it's like,
I see what you mean, though.
That stuff kind of seems silly now, and a lot of it's also I don't know what I'm doing every day. I'm just kind of living in the moment, a lot of, and then I've been through a lot in my personal life, so all that kind of goes hand in hand. So, but now it's like, because I feel like TV Land, I had to do something where I was like, okay, I want to do something that is strictly by the book of just self-discovery again, because maybe I got too close to the sun for a little bit, and I feel like I don't want to bring a lot of people around for me to crawl back out and get back on the right track where I need to go.
Right.
Because I got a lot of people involved with a lot of things, and made a lot of like conversations happen that was going to lead to things, and stuff like that. So now it's like, what? For me, I need to do this by myself. Like, how did I make my first film? I just shot it by myself and did all this stuff by myself and figured these things out in real time, and it was like, I just kind of want to do that again. But now I know some knowledge. I know some skills. I know some technical abilities. I know some editing. I know this. I know that. So let's see what that looks like now. And I'm not looking for a technical achievement. I'm not looking for a masterpiece. I'm looking for something that I can create originally, super ambitiously.
That's the best way to be.
And
just make something
I
original.
think for me it's a healing process. I really do.
Cathartic.
I feel like I'm just like coming back down on a self-discovery train where I'm just like, yeah, I want to shed all this, other stuff that got me to a point where I felt like I needed to kind of walk away from stuff,
Yeah,
like
dude.
I've been very quiet as far as a lot of stuff goes.
It gets you reclusive after a certain point in the journey, because like you were saying, I think there's a point where it's like there's necessary ego, then there's like a point where it's like, I don't know if all that was necessary. It's very complex, and I think you almost have to kind of go through the motions to figure that stuff out. But I think there's always a point in the artist journey where you almost want to simplify all the complicated emotions that are inevitably going to be part of it. And I think a lot of that is just kind of reaching for that simplicity, just like, well, I'm like always like preserving the dream, but being able to kind of move on to on a day-to-day life, be down to earth in your daily task, and which I know you have a lot of those responsibilities as a father. You work and gig and all that.
And all that stuff comes first at the end of the day.
It's
like at the end of the day, my personal life, my family, my son, everything, my responsibilities come first, and the creative stuff comes secondly. But that second part of you, always lives in you, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, well, where do you take this, and how do you feel?
Yeah, because it's
Stuff
like
that.
it can maddeningly possess you when you're in the
Yeah.
moment of it, and it's like, dude, I think it is complex and tough to shut that off and just
It
kind of go
is.
about things day-to-day life and not almost feel like frustrated that maybe like you haven't achieved your goal
Very
exactly
much
with your
so.
art.
Absolutely.
It doesn't
That-
feel fulfilling, right? In a sense,
It gets very, and that's what I've had to learn how to like calm down, a lot, because I used to be like that, and I still get like that. I get frustrated, especially if I want to do something. I've got such a drive for something in the day, and then like it just doesn't go my way. It doesn't happen. Things like that. I get like very frustrated and very upset and things like that. But it's just about just trying to understand that it all just comes. You have to have that good balance, and things happen when they happen, and do what you can do.
Yeah.
Number 1, The Hangout.
It's also like Jack Black. I was curious what Jack Black roles have influenced you the most. We talk about School of Rock, Minecraft. What else has there been?
Tenacious D.
That's another great one. Yeah, Tenacious D's a blast. Yeah,
Actually, I need to rewatch it. It's been a long
I'm
time.
the same here. No, I haven't seen it since it was like on DVD, but that holds up as a great one. I mean, it's a total spoof on just like kind of like being a metalhead, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other Jack Black films right now.
He's so good. Such a good one. Yeah, there's that Nacho Libre also.
That's a fun one.
That was
It's
pretty
like,
fun.
but I've only seen it like once or twice.
I'm the same.
And
That was-
I feel like it's kind of like a, I don't know. I have to really watch it this time.
I'm the same. No, I
Yeah.
think that's one where I like it a lot, and I almost associate it as like I'm almost like more of a memory capsule than it might be than like one I really remember and know
Right.
dear to my heart, because I know that meant a lot to a lot of people I knew growing up. That's
Mhm.
like I was like one of their favorite. I might have influenced a lot of great hangout cultures. So, and being a fan of Jack Black, I might just need to rewatch it by default. But yeah, I don't know how it'll end. I know it was kind of right in the time of like the Nickelodeon movies and all that. It's like it's okay. That's all that was just okay.
They were just okay.
A lot of it was just in the very middle ground.
I feel like the last time I remember watching anything from it, it just felt very dry, and it was kind of
Dry
just like
humor, yeah.
and it's just like some of that lands and some of it just doesn't. It just kind
Yeah.
of feels like, all right, well, you're just kind of getting through it. So
I think School of Rock's his ultimate moment. Yeah, so I think that's just like it reminds me so much of Jack Nicholson, and it's like
Yeah.
it's just a real deal. Just a eccentric guy who just actually is a great influence on people.
yeah, he's so good, man.
He's so good. Oh yeah, the scenes where he's with Joan Cusack are great.
Yeah.
he's trying to get the principal to loosen up, basically.
yeah.
And he actually gets there. That's what's so cool
I
about
know.
it.
He is like so cool. In the,
Yeah,
in the movie.
because he risks just almost being this almost risked being a creepy scenario, unsettling even. But I don't know, Linklater and Black just make this heartwarming, and they make this seriously endearing to where it's really not at all. Like it's just totally from the heart. This is just a sincerely great teacher figure in every sense of the
For
word.
sure. I was just looking up some other Jack Black movies. 'Cause I was like, what am I? I'm just trying to think of like.
Yeah, I know he's one of those like he's not.
He pops up in Anchorman, which is funny as the
That's
motorcyclist.
right. Oh, that's right. Trash my chopper, brosif.
He like
Tell me something you love. He's like poetry, a glass of scotch, Baxter. Oh no, this is happening.
oh gosh.
Oh man, it's so over the top.
It's so funny, dude.
I know,
He's
dude.
so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not like a whole lot of Jack Black felt.
I mean, he
movies,
just
but
pops up a
He's
lot,
just memorable.
but-
He's just always memorable whenever
Yeah.
he does. Yeah, and he's great.
I
in-
watched that movie Orange County.
Oh, I
He's
want
like-
to see that. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
it's actually all right, man.
Is
It's
it?
like
Yeah.
it's not like a crazy good movie or anything. It's definitely like that 2000s like charm. Like
Yeah.
I think it's 2002. So it's kind of like got that just like a coming of age slice of life. For this kid. Kind of going through it, trying to figure out if he wants to go to like this college or something. And Jack Black's like his kind of like bum brother and stuff, but he's not in it like the whole movie. It follows his kid most of the movie, but like he pops up quite a bit, and he's in it quite a bit. And
I want to see that.
but he's a nice like kind of push it to like a whatever man kind of vibe. But I liked it when I watched it.
I'm very intrigued by that. Yeah, I love that era of.
He's in King Kong.
I was about to say that was the one I literally. How did I forget that? That was
Yeah.
that's probably that's probably my other favorite one next to School of Rock. So
I need to
loved it.
rewatch it, dude. I
love that movie.
I've seen it.
It gets a lot of polarizing.
Yeah,
reviews.
a lot of people like talk shit about it sometimes. But
I honestly am detached from all that. I think it's a perfectly great
Yeah.
movie. I think it's a perfect epic because it's so epic in scope, and I think it's wonderfully paced. I mean, wonderfully paced. It's like the first hour, you just really get to know the characters as they're going to the island to film a movie. Second act is just dinosaurs kind of dominating the whole scene, and just it turns into a monster movie basically, kind of in vein of Jurassic Park. And then third act, it just kind of moves out to the big city, and King Kong's just like all these airplanes are trying to take him down.
It's a sad movie too.
It's sad.
I mean,
yeah.
King Kong's story is always sad.
It's
in
a
that
sad one,
depiction.
man. He meets Naomi Watts, and then beauty kills the beast, as they say.
Yeah.
It's perfect, bro.
Yeah, I need to rewatch. It's been such a long time.
I love Jack Black in that. I think because I love his dramatic shades. It was like him, Naomi Watts, and Adrian Brody. I think that was a great trio of actors and an actress right there. Because again, I think that was just made for a really dynamic chemistry in every sense. Like Black is very dramatic. Watts is also dramatic. And then Brody was almost a little bit more the I guess kind of more the laid back sort of relief in the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's a good chemistry in that movie.
Yeah. And Peter Jackson, right?
Peter Jackson, yep. He was just fresh on Lord of the Rings.
That's epic.
Golly, he's epic.
Man, he just makes epic movies. It's wild.
He just does, yeah. Man, he knows how to get that across perfect in that.
Yeah. I forgot Tropic Thunder.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he wasn't that. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
man.
that's a funny movie.
That is a funny one. Like Tom Cruise had the very offbeat cameo.
He's always said he's wanted to do like a movie around that character or something like that. Yeah.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, and I also forgot. There's a few I've not seen. I'm curious about, which are The Holiday and Kung Fu Panda.
Oh yeah, The Holiday's fun. Or not. I would say fun, but it's good. It's a good movie.
More
I like
drama.
that. Yeah, and it's like it's kind of a Christmas time movie too. So like. I like those kind of Christmas movies, especially like those kind of rom-com, like or whatever, or more dramatics, like Family Stone. This is kind of in the vein of like the Family Stone.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
But it's
cool.
good. It's like he's charming in it. He's really like he's not as loud as he normally is. Like he's very laid back, but like cool. He's very Jack Black, but cool and like calm. And he's I think he sings and plays piano or guitar or something like at one point. He's very Jack Black, but just in a much more like. In this relationship kind of esque, style, and it's cool. I enjoy that movie.
Dude,
I have not seen Kung Fu Panda though.
Yeah, I've not seen that either. I'm very curious. I've always heard that's one of the better animated movies of the century so far.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious about that.
I've seen parts of it just for being on TV or something, but I've never actually sat down and watched the whole movie. So
yeah, it needs a viewing.
I'm curious about Bernie.
Bernie, yeah, that was Richard Linklater did that one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah,
wow.
I liked that one fine. That was never one of my favorites, but I think I needs a rewatch. Honestly, I think that might marinate a little more because it's kind of it's extremely offbeat. It's a kind of part documentary, part like real. It was a real life case of a murder scenario basically, and it involves Jack Black and Shirley MacLaine's in it too from The Apartment.
Oh, okay.
Elderly, and it's great. It's really interesting. Matthew McConaughey also. Yeah, that's it. That one sincerely needs a reevaluation. There's a handful of Linklater movies I need to go back and rewatch. That's another one. That is one of those.
Yeah,
it's set in Texas. It's an interesting murder story, but it's really weird how it's paced. It's because again, it's kind of got that like you get the murder, then you just kind of it's just like the court case, but it's almost like hard to tell if it's the real thing or if it's actually fictional.
Yeah, based off what the trailer, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that. So, but I don't know. I'll check it out one day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's a good one. And then High Fidelity. Have you ever seen that?
No.
I was gonna say that was another one with Jack Black. That was made in 2000. Stars John Cusack, actually Joan Cusack's brother.
Yeah.
Made in the same era, School of Rock. But basically, it's just about a guy who just runs a record shop, and Jack Black's a customer who regularly stops in, and he's like extremely loud. It's kind of funny. Everyone else is a little more quiet. So then you got Jack Black is like someone who's like 10 times louder than everyone else, and he really works in that kind of role. He's like very loud, very opinionated about music, like just very loud about his take on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good comedy.
Okay.
I definitely recommend checking that out. So actually, it's a comedy drama, really, because it's actually kind of a comedy, but it's also almost like a really offbeat kind of like romance, right? You're looking at Joan Cusack's romance life, basically, like 5 different people he's been with, and just I don't know, almost like the sub story. It's a little pretty original, and I'd be really curious to hear your take on that.
Okay. Yeah. To look out for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, High Fidelity. Yeah, then Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Apparently Jack Black had a cameo.
I've never actually seen that.
I recommend it. It's really funny. I'd say if it's in that vein of like Tenacious D humor, where it's just totally spoofing it's just spoofing everything about the rock and roll lifestyle, and it's really funny. It's kind of spoofing particularly Johnny Cash in every sense. Which, speaking of him, have you seen the movie Walk the Line?
Yeah, that's a great movie. I was just
really
reading up on that again. Yesterday or something like that. It's like that's a great movie.
That is a great one. Yeah, I agree. Now I've realized how much I think Joaquin Phoenix just seriously holds up in that whole performance. He kind of gets the chaotic energy.
You kind of forget he was in all these movies in like early 2000s as well, or like like he was in
the Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yeah, he's in like a lot of great stuff. Yeah, like kind of before doing the Paul Thomas Anderson collaborations, he was always kind of chaotic. And I realized I think when I saw Walk the Line, I instantly loved his chaos because like he's particularly chaotic.
He's very chaotic.
A lot of detail-oriented moments of him just kind of losing it. Like there's a scene, also a moment in Punch Drunk Love as well, where in Walk the Line where he's totally just going apeshit in a bathroom and just totally tearing it apart, beating it up out of rage.
Yeah,
those are some of my favorite scenes in movies. He does that in The Master also kind of too when he breaks that sink.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm a huge fan of seeing Joaquin Phoenix just lose his shit. Basically, I think there's something original about his chaos. I mean, it's really groundbreaking.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, he does that. He has those shades in him, man. And I mean, even in Joker, it's just like,
oh, seriously, that's one of the biggest examples. And Joker, that whole depiction of, I think that's a great Phoenix showcase of just like, I don't know, just being, just gradually shifting into a total psychopath, and takes that Taxi Driver formula and makes it very original.
Yeah, that one movie that he did that was like a mockumentary.
Oh yeah, I'm Still Here.
I'm Still Here.
He's like an aspiring rapper.
Yeah, I watched that when it came out, and I was so. I mean, I think I was just so blown away.
I was too,
because I was like, "What is happening? Like, this is really what he's doing." I thought it was like a real documentary.
I fell for it too.
I did. I fell for it. I was like, "This is there's no way." I was like, "Man, this is sad to see him go through this." Like, I remember. He just came out on like an interview not too long ago saying he regrets doing that movie.
Yeah, it made him look really. It actually made him look really bad. Yeah. Like when he's actually like he had way more to show for it. I think that's where Paul Thomas Anderson was seeing all that happen. He was like, "Dude, I got you, man." Like kind of.
He's like, "Don't worry, man."
I think that's kind of what happened.
You're a genius. Let me get you.
Yeah, literally, misguided genius. Yeah, I think with that, I think that probably happens to a lot of celebrities where they hit an intense like maybe identity crisis or something like that. He probably was going through a lot of the antisocial side of it in a lot of ways, and I think at the time it felt like a good idea to just kind of like I don't know, just really like. Just do something that was
shock
off.
value.
Yeah, he wanted to shock the world basically. And he would rather just shock people than anything. It's like that's all he cares about doing. And when we made that movie, I think that was just an exercise where it's actually not. I don't really like that movie that much actually. Like it is kind of cringy in a way.
I've only saw that one time, but it was enough for me to be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Even when you kind of know he's joking now, it's like it's just like, oh man, I think I love him too much. It's like, dude, he's literally shown too much to the world with his acting. It seems like if anything, it almost seems like a product of someone who didn't have the best self-esteem. And that's like I just sincerely would want him to have more,
Right.
And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. If you checked out all those clips, we appreciate it. And go back and listen to the other episodes. We got more content coming for you next time around. If you like what you hear, give us a review. It really, really helps us out. Follow us on Instagram. We're trying to hit 1,000 so we can finally go live on Instagram. And we have a YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe on there as well. All that good stuff. We appreciate it. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you want to talk about. And we'll include you in the show as well. We'll see you next time on Real to Real. Thank you.